for Algebra 1 enrichment, day 2 notes, dividing by a monomial. So it says divide and write each polynomial in standard form. Classify each polynomial by degree and term. And so you're going to want to go back and reference your chart from day 1 here to help you name by degree and term your answers or your solutions. So first of all, it says it needs to be in standard form. So when we divide polynomials, we divide our large numbers, like 3 and 3 or 6 and 3, but then we subtract our exponents. Okay, so divide, subtract, divide, as we're going to do, divide, subtract, divide, subtract. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. And then remember there's a 1 there on that x, so 2 minus 1 is x to the first. And then we have negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. And 1 minus 1 is 0. But if it's x to the 0, we do not write it because it is just a 1. So when I rewrite my final answer here, I don't include the 1 in front of the x or the 1 on the x because those are unnecessary. We wouldn't actually see them if it was a multiple choice test or something. So I want you to be able to know that both of these answers mean the same thing. Okay, so then by degree, looking at the chart, if we have an exponent of 1, a degree of 1 is linear. So our degree is linear, and we have 2 terms. 2 terms is called a binomial. Okay. In part B, again, divide, subtract. So 24 divided by 12 is 2. 3 minus 1 is x squared. 36 divided by 12 is 3. And 2 minus 1 is x to the first. Negative 48 divided by 12 is negative 4. And 1 minus 1 makes 0, so we don't write it. So our final answer, I would rewrite it without that 1 right there because it's unnecessary. Looking at the degree, you're looking at the highest exponent, which is 2. A 2 is a quadratic. Okay, and we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So 3 terms is a trinomial. Alright, in letter C and D, for both of these, we need to divide by the monomial right here. So I'm going to place that right underneath the trinomial so it mirrors or looks like the ones up here. Okay? So now I can get rid of this part. We don't need it anymore. So now, divide, subtract, divide, subtract, divide, subtract. So 9 divided by 3, and 3 minus 2. Negative 6 divided by 3, and 2 minus 2 is 0, so I don't need to write x. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and then 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. So this goes back to exponent rules. You can't have negative exponents. And so we are going to put a 1 underneath this, and we're just going to move this x to the bottom. So here we go. Final answer. 3x, again, we don't need that 1, minus 2 plus, and then we're going to have a fraction. We're going to say 5 over, bring my x to the bottom, and we know that there's like an invisible 1 right there. So by degree, my highest degree here is this 1, which is linear. And I have 1, 2, 3 terms, so that is a trinomial. In letter D, I divide by the 9x to the third. So we have 2x squared. 5 minus 3 is 2. 27 divided by 9 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0, so I don't write that. Negative 18 divided by 9 is negative 2. And 1 minus 3 is x to the negative 2. So again, I'm going to have to move this part so the x goes to the bottom. So I have 2x squared plus 3 minus 2 and then x to the squared goes to the bottom. Okay, now for degree, highest exponent is a 2. So that is a quadratic. Your term, 1, 2, 3, is a trinomial for 3 terms. Okay, letter E. So for letter E, again, we're going to divide and subtract. So I'm going to put my 1s up here on my x and my y's that need 1s. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So I don't write the x down. Now for the y, 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, second term. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Don't write down the x. 2 minus 1 is 2. Sorry, 2 minus 1 is 1. Negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So I don't need to write down x or y. So rewriting this, I have 4y squared plus y minus 2. In letter F, I'm going to do the same thing I did, divide, and then subtract. So I'm going to put my 1s in. So 14 divided by 7 is 2. 4 minus 1 is a to the third. Don't forget your variable. B is 5 minus 1. Then 28 divided by 7 is 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. And 2 minus 1 is b to the first. And then here we have negative 35 divided by 7. So that's negative 5. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. And so I don't need a or b. So my final answer here would be this without that little 1. And that would be what you get.